And hello, everybody. And today we are going to be going over MudHoG. And what I mean by MudHoG is Ghirapur, Commander, EDH, Magic the Gathering. 2020, the year is, and the month is, I believe, July. We just had 4th of July a couple days or weeks ago, whatever. So here we go. Here's a breakdown of my version of MudHoG. So of course, you got hopes and dreams, and then of course Oasis. Went with the Altar of Brood artifact. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. There's going to be a lot of synergy between hope and a lot of things that other cards are doing. Hence the name MudHoG. It's slow. It's nasty. It's a MudHoG. Let's continue. Crystal Vein. That comes in handy so many times when you're just short, for one massive drop that you really could use for somebody. Urza, of course. Sword of Feast and Famine. The thing is about this deck is that the only creature really in this deck that is doing any damage is going to be Hope. And so, yes, all the major swords are in here, along with some couple other things, but it is not Tron. This is not a Tron deck at all. Like, this is meant to, go after planeswalkers and stuff on the board that's, it's meant to, make people mad, so there's this. So, to continue, Forge of Heroes, that comes in handy, if you're running kind of a slow game, getting pulls and stuff like that, and you got this out, and you just want to, make people mad, and you just keep on, popping hope, sacking hope and everything like that to make people not be able to play non-creature spells until your next turn. This comes in handy because you're just giving hope that just much juice, and hopefully you got some equipments on the field to make things happen. Reliquary Tower, Detection Tower. Everybody knows these. Staples, Waste. Definitely went with basic Waste. Sword of War and Peace. Here we go again. Just, it's not Tron, but here's a piece. Ghost Quarter, because you're taking away things, so why not? Got to add more pieces of taking things away. Void Winnower. Now, I added this one, and I'm sorry, what you're hearing in the background is something Guard on Netflix, and I don't want to turn it down because I like listening to it while talking to y'all, so that's my background music. But we got Void Winnower, and this, it's savage. Like, there's a lot of spells out there that are even, quite a lot, so let's go on ahead and face it. This kind of hurts, and you're not even, you can attack with an 11-9. It's kind of silly. Waste, Sequestered Stash. That comes in handy. There is a game that I had the other day where I played that, and I was able to get a really good drop. I believe it was some clock. I forget which clock it was, but it helped out quite well. Oops. Another Waste. We got Heartseeker. And this is mainly just for the destroy target creature. Yeah, the +2/+1 is a bonus, but just to unattach it, just tap unattached destroy target creature. Yeah, that's super dope. That'd be even better if it was just a permanent, but that the creature is still very good because that comes in handy with removal and stuff like that. Another Waste. Hopefully y'all are counting things in here too, so you can count the distribution of everything. It's only a 40-60 distribution. Maze of Ith, which is, this actually stopped me playing Hog's Mollies the other day. Hog Mollies is another version of HoG, Hope of Ghirapur deck, and I'll show you that here in another video. But there goes Maze of Ith, really helps out. Terrain generator, that comes in handy when you're just got mana in your hand, you just want to flood the board and do stuff. Like, it gets crazy after a while. Wastes, Inventor's Fair, you know what that one does. At the beginning of your upkeep, just and then the fact to search your library for an artifact card, that really, really, really helps. Winter's Orb, MudHoG. I mean, it's meant to grind. This is a grinding deck, so Eldrazi Conscription only because mainly for the Annihilator. Definitely for the Annihilator. Yes, the 10/10 is nice in the trample, because all of this is going on Hope. I mean, no creatures. So, Empowered Auto Generator. This one was really a really nice addition, especially early on in the game, to just keep on tapping and keep on tapping and keep on tapping and to get things out, get more and more mana on your side out there every turn, just by tapping it. And, so that's great. Strionic Resonator. This combos so well with so many things in this deck. Like, I used this with one of the swords the other day, and it was just all like, just keep milling until I tell you to stop, pretty much. And I'm getting +1/+0 until end of turn, until you stop that. Buried Ruin, go in the graveyard, for an artifact. That's wonderful. Mind Crank, whenever an opponent loses life, that player loses that, puts that many cards from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And that works well for everybody, I mean, anybody else is doing damage, well, hey, you gotta do that too. So, of course, Sword of the Animist, because this is, you're looking for the ramp. Unfortunately, it does come and play tapped, but oh well. That's, you're still getting land in for free, and you got that with what land was that? Just past it. Anyways, you know which land I'm talking about. Rainforest, not so much tree here in Colorado. MTG. Unstable Obelisk. This saves quite a lot. I go fetch this as much as possible just to destroy the target permanent, It's a great card. Works out really well. Thespian Stage. I have used this to copy to other lands to make another Buried Ruin, to bring another land, another artifact back to the battlefield. I've used it to bring Unstable Obelisk back to the battlefield, by turning it into a Buried Ruin. Like, it's wonderful. Trepidation Blade. This is the one that I was telling you about earlier, where I kept on triggering it by using not Mind Crank, Sword of the Animus, Strionic Resonator, to keep on copying it. Yeah, that hurt the other day, dude. The first time he had to mill for 11. The second, and then I copied it, just copied it again, and then the second time I was like 2 or 3. But still, that adds up. That could have easily been another 11. So there was that. Karn's Bastion, proliferate. Battleforge, Battle Axe. When this comes out into play, things get really bad, because it's all like, Hope is attacking, that's one of the win phases in this, one of the win conditions in this deck is Hope attacking, taking commander damage. And this really just eats it up even more, because then each one is only 2 to equip, and I've already got the mana ramp out there to continue to do what I do and everything. Another Waste, Soul Ring, of course. Mind Stoned, really good addition. Quiet as Spike. That's hurt some people's feelings. Not just the death touch on a 1/1 flyer, but the fact that when you deal damage to a player, that player then loses half their life rounded up. So however much damage Hope did, and then, half damage rounded up, which is great. Mercadian Atlas. At the end of the turn, if you didn't play a land this turn, you may draw a card. That's come in handy quite often. You can even use that to not even play a land, just for card draw, of course. Arcane Lighthouse. Your opponent's creatures lose hexproof and shroud and stuff. Can't get it back till in turn. Moon Silver Spear. I did damage with this the other night, as a matter of fact, and then got it taken from me because I was playing, I think, Mimnarch or something like that. And I got a couple angels out there, and just, tension automatically went on me. Yeah, it was bad. Nullbridge. Now, this one I just recently added, and you can kind of see why. Just, that it helps out a lot. And with, with Hope, you players can't play non-creature spells until my next turn and stuff like that. Like, things get kind of rowdy around here. It's pretty cool. Mind Slaver, of course, just to, really scare people. I don't think I've used that in a game yet. I think I got it out of the field. Somebody saw it and they were like, no. They either board wiped or got rid of it. But I mean, not everything's going to get played. Some things are, specifically made for, diversions and stuff like that. But, if it does get played, then woe to you. Perilous Vault, that's come in handy. That one really hurts a lot of people, even myself. But hey, it's all right when you're down and out. Don't play, a lands, lands deck or anything. Hedron Archive, Nice. Dreamstone Hedron, of course. Crawl Space. This one was a fun addition, just to stir things up. Played it back, when I first started playing Magic and stuff like that, and of course remembered it. And now here we are, all these 20 plus years later. Meteor Golem, of course, for the destruction of bringing something in and just kabooey. So there's other factors. This might go into hog mollies, but I really doubt it. Of course. Okay, now the thing is like people automatically think that a person's going to play Smokestack and just, I'm going to put all these counters on it and that's going to be it. No. See, now you got to be strategic about playing Smokestack and stuff like that, because you don't always. You just got to be able to play it right. Like you don't got to put counters on it. So just let it be played. Sometimes people, you might be happy that later on in the game that Smokestack is actually out there. Of course, Mana Vault. Can't see that text. There you go. iPhone 10. Mana Vault, of course. It's Mana Vault. Everybody knows that. Sisay's Ring. This was a good find for me. I was happy about that one because I was looking for other mana rocks and found it. So, Temple of the False God. I'm thinking about scrapping this one for something else because this is too wish-washy. Now, granted, yes, it taps for 2 colorless, but you have to have 5 or more lands. So what if this is in your opening hand? I mean, yeah, you can, always, mulligan or whatnot, but, say, you took a 3-drop or 4-drop of lands in your hand or something like that, and you don't get anything for quite a long time, then you're stuck at technically 2 or 3 lands. So hopefully you'll be able to do something about that. So I might be replacing Temple of the False God relatively soon. Think about that. Another sword, Light and Shadow. This one comes in handy too, just like any one of the other ones. So Ferropede is relatively new addition to this, and it's only 4 to remove counters from from a permanent. That's it. Nice that it's unblockable, you know. I mean, that helps out. But yeah, so and that also helps out. I can also equip, um, swords to Ferropede and stuff like that to help out with damage with Hope because Hope's the main damage dealer in this deck. So Mystifying Maze, exile target attacking creature, opponent controls. Yeah, bring it back. Yeah, it works out well. Wastaga, Blinkmoth Urn. You have no idea how powerful this card is until it is, I don't know, you're able to ramp at, let's say, turn 3, and you're able to play everything in your deck as you draw it, and it just keeps going. This is, yeah, wow, yeah. Thran Dynamo, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you? Karn Liberating. I was at a toss up about putting Liberated in here, because his ultimate is worthless to me. I'm not going to ever restart the game. Who would do something like that? I mean, unless it was for money. Let's be honest. But everything else is wonderful. But it's a 7-drop card, but you can only use 2 of its abilities. That is the way I'm looking at it. I mean, granted, yeah, it's never going to go away because you're plus in 3 and plus in minus and plus in 4 and minus in 3, so it's probably never going to go away. But there it is. Pithing Needle. Yeah. Just make sure you know the difference between activated abilities and there's the other abilities, because I'm still kind of new to that terminology. Well, one is whenever, when, where the other one is tapped and stuff like that. So just make sure you're careful on that. Another waste. Sword of Cauldra. I'll probably be getting rid of this one soon out of this deck and maybe gearing it more towards Hog Mollies. The reason for that is because, yeah, the 5/5 is good and all, but it doesn't really do that much more because Hope is there. I mean, I'm not really being blocked with Hope by creatures. I'm being stopped with Hope more so by spells and stuff because Hope's flying, and not too many people are used to a 1/1 flying, general, and they're, even if they do have a flying general, they're less likely to block with it when Hope is, all beefed up to, like, I had her the other night at, like 15/15 or something like that. So yeah, might be getting rid of that one also. There's a power plant, Wastaga, Blast Zone. I added this one kind of at the last moment, just a day or so ago. Very fun. This actually saved the group that I was playing with from this one guy that was being an asshole, and it was cool. Before I died, I was able to blast zone his commander, and that was it. He couldn't withstand after that. So Nephalia Academy. This is a great one right here. It helps out, lets me hand control, stuff like that. Phyrexian Revoker, of course, that's always fun, But remember activated abilities and stuff like that, so when, where, and all that other stuff. Sword of Sinew and Steel. I mean, I told you my major swords are in here, all the protection swords. How about that? So all the major protection swords, -1, I believe, Dungeons and Dragons is the one that I'm missing. God Pharaoh statue. This pisses people off, I mean, but that's MudHoG fashion, to piss people off, grind things down, Lodestone Golem. I mean, it's a cheaper version of God Pharaoh's statue in a way, but it's all good. I like it. Works well. Argentum Armor. I've played this like once, maybe twice. Normally when I put it on the field, it gets gone kind of fast. People don't like to see that out there. You know, a 7/7 hope that every time it attacks, you have to destroy the permanent. Like, ow, okay, so. Endbringer. This one was really fun because you get to untap it during everybody's untap step, you know, and you're gonna have mana floating. You got mana all day in this deck. I've noticed, like I've gotten to the point where I saw like I'm thinking about taking out maybe one, maybe two, you know, mana rocks just you know, for that reason, you know, because I'm getting flooded with so much mana, but that's probably never going to happen. But Endbringer, very fun, very good. Grindstone. Okay, now I'm going to set Grindstone aside, and I'm going to tell you that story that I told you earlier about the guy where I used Blast Zone to take out his Planeswalker. Now, the reason why everybody got pissed off at him is because he did an asshole move, and we're gonna get to that here in a second. So we're gonna get back to Grindstone here in a second. As soon as we get to the card we're talking about, it's a puppet. Mind's Eye is the next card after that. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you may pay one. If you do, draw a card. You know, very simple. Everybody knows that. Bane of Balaged. It's always strictly for, you know, the exilization of permanents. Probably gonna get rid of that though. Tower of Fortunes, love it. I mean, how could you pass up on that? Ugin, of course. At first, I went with the infallible, unfuckable. I don't know what you want to call them. Excuse my language. but but this one just fits the deck better. You know, everybody knows it. So that's Springjack Pasture. Kind of self-explanatory. Just adds you a couple creatures. You know, disposable. That might be moving to Hog Mollies though. So we'll see. Illusionist Bracers, of course, you know, be able to copy ability. Yeah, do that again and again and again and again. Torpor Orb. This one hurt somebody's feelings the other day really bad. All their creatures just no. Staff of Nin. It's mainly for the card draw. That one damage, yeah, that's cool and everything, but but it's for the card draw, strictly for the card draw. Wastaga. Body and Mind. This is one of my favorite ones because of the mill, you know, and the addition of the 2/2 creature. That's just really cool. The Immortal Sun. Yeah. Static Orb, of course. I mean, I'm playing pretty much an Orbs deck in a way. A partial Orbs deck. You know, I mean, there's synergy within this deck. Just please believe on it. Everything falls into place really easily in this deck. Especially with each other. When things, I mean, especially if you just wait and nobody bothers you, you know, you get your board state for maybe 2, 3, 4 turns, maybe 5 turns. You should be damn near full throttle at that time ahead of the pack, and people are now just starting to target you, and you're just dropping stuff on the field, and maybe those are one of them. Myriad Landscape. She stabbed her in the shoulder. How dare you? Not Charlize Theron. Ruins of Orin Reef. I don't like it because it goes into play tapped, but I like it because it gives a +1/+1 counter to target colorless creature that enters the battlefield this turn. I already have one in Hog Mollies. I'm probably going to take this one out, though, because I don't have enough creatures to, you know, I drop all the time. What's that guy? All of Dust. All is Dust, of course. I mean, you would be a fool not to play that. Steel Hellkite. Steel Hellkite is, I would have to say, the backup general in this deck. You know, the backup commander in this deck. And the reason why that is because of its second ability, the destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost X whose controller was dealt damage by. I mean, that just hurts because I mean, it's flying. It's 5/5. You know, I mean, it probably got dropped in turn 3, depending on how your rotation in the deck and everything like that, and what else you got. But still, it came out fast enough to where it's hurting people now. It's something else that people have to focus on. You know, not to mention all types of other stuff like a ratchet bomb, for example. You know, putting charge counters on it, and then man, let's go ahead and sacrifice and destroy everything with equal to the number of charge counters on a ratchet bomb. You know, it's HoG. Nevinarus Disc comes into play tap and destroy all creatures, enchantments, artifacts, including Nevinarus Disc. Painter Servant, here is that combo I was telling you about. Now, okay, you combine these two together. Okay, when Painter Servant comes into play, you choose a color. I always choose green because I love wearing platinum, but my favorite color green. I still watch the league. I still watch the screen. But yeah, so in all cards that aren't in play, that's every card that is not in play is that color. Now you go over here to Grindstone, and 3 and tap. Put the top 2 cards of target player's library into that player's graveyard. If both cards share at least one color, repeat this process. Well, my Scarecrow says that every card is green. You say that if every card shares the same color, you just get to mill them. This dude, okay, so he just did a board wipe. Just to do a board wipe. Well, I mean, granted, yeah, you know, I'm coming for everybody's face with this combo after that because, let's face it, you know, that's a win condition right there. But just what he did after that he destroyed his board and he just didn't play it right. And I think that's what made a lot of people mad was that he just did not play it right because he didn't even win the game. He didn't even come close to winning the game. And that's why everybody focused on him because that was kind of messed up. Dread Statuary. Let's go to this creature land. Why not? And Owastaga. And that does it for HoG Mollies. This is what I was watching. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day. Take a look outside. This is Colorado in the summertime. Summer, summer, summertime.